Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the CandlePower Hour, Keys to the City. This is a new segment that we're doing on webcam. So we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to start tonight with a guest from the Long Beach punk scene, Dennis Kopczak. Mercury is here. Bill Matoyer is at home monitoring. Dan Moore is still out on the road right now. So we're going to start with Dennis. Dennis, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
Welcome, it's going great. Thanks for having me on the show. I've been wanting to be on here for a while.
Like I said, it's long overdue. So, Dennis, you're from the Long Beach punk scene. You grew up in Long Beach. You were born and raised in Long Beach. So we're going to talk about your experiences in Long Beach and how you got to where you're at today. So how did it start for you in Long Beach?
You ever meet Sublime?
I did meet Sublime, yes, in '88 backyard parties, high school.
Did you go to school with them?
I did not. I went to school in Bellflower, the city of Bellflower, for high school. That's where I went. And
what high school did you go to?
I went to St. John Bosco.
Oh, shoot. We used to play you. I went to Cathedral.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That sounds like a Catholic school. Are they? Those are all Catholic schools, are they?
We were rivals. So what was it like at Don Bosco when you were in high school back then?
Well, I didn't like it. I didn't want to go there. I'd been going to school in Long Beach all the way till 8th grade, and all my friends were going to Lakewood High School, the friends I was playing music with. The family had me go to Bosco. It was all guys high school. Had to wear collared shirts. Your hair couldn't touch your collar. That whole scene. So I got injured playing football, practiced football for 9th grade, got injured at a knee surgery right away, and I quit playing football, and I was a surfer too. So surfing, music, and that's how high school went. I tried to flunk out, and that didn't work. My dad got really upset.
You were too smart to flunk out.
I was too smart to flunk out, and I got my grades up after that first year. And it really hurt me as far as doing that, because I had to go to summer school and take long classes in the summer to make up. And
that's exactly what I had to do. They let me graduate on stage, but I had to go back for summer school to complete so I can get my diploma.
Yeah, I did all that before. So
what was the punk rock scene like? What year did you graduate?
I graduated 1989.
Oh, okay, so you're all right. So you're end of the 80s. I'm 84.
End of the 80s.
Well, what was Don Bosco like as far as the punk rock and the music? What did the kids like to listen to back then?
Diego, can you make his camera bigger? I texted you, but you just ignored your phone right now.
Yeah, I can. I don't know how to do that. That's his camera.
You did it last time. You pressed something so that we could see the other videos bigger, because he's really tiny right now. So I'm barely seeing him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
There we go.
This one's different than last time. This is just zoomed in.
This is cool.
Well,
it was different where they were all wide. There we go. That's it.
That one, is that better?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we could see you a lot better now.
Okay.
It's like tiny, and I'm like, I see your mouth moving.
But it was really. Yeah, Bosco. I mean, there was a lot of different music groups there as far as cliques. There was punks that hung out with punks. The jocks hung out with the jocks. There was metalheads. There was surfers, skateboarders. I kind of hung out with everybody and mixed around. So I mean, I've always liked all genres of music, so I just didn't hang around with one clique.
I was like that in high school too. But what was it like being a surfer that wasn't allowed to have surfer hair?
Oh, I grew the top out long. I was like, not
a mullet head,
not like flock of seagulls, poofy, but I had longer on the top for sure.
Like a mohawk kind of?
No, just real. I don't know. Is this that 80s?
You got a picture? If you got a picture, we'll input it.
No.
Where did you surf? What was your local surf beach?
My local surf beach was the Cliffs in Huntington, They
All
used to
right.
call it, yeah, they used to call it Fifth Oil Well because there used to be wells
Right.
there when I surfed. I started surfing in like 1982. So yeah,
Did
the
you ever
older
run into like locals only bullshit?
there was locals only bullshit, but I was brought there by guys 10 years older than me that I grew up with in my neighborhood, Lakewood High School guys. So I was with the locals. So
Right.
I didn't get messed with, but there was that going on, and the group that all these guys that I know were vibey. They were definitely vibey, and they protected the area. It was strange. It
Was
was
that?
strange.
Yeah, no, those were real days. What about punk rock? Was there a lot of punk rock in that circle?
There was punk rock in that circle, and who was in that circle that I met surfing before the music is Jack Grisham, TSOL.
So you used to
So
surf with him?
I used to surf with Jack Grisham
Wow.
way back in the day, and that's how I
Right.
met him. I knew of TSOL, right? But I'm out in the water and got introduced, like, "Hey, this is Jack." I'm like, "Okay, hi, Jack." "Oh yeah, he's a singer for TSOL." "Oh, cool." So yeah, yeah, it was very interesting. All
Are you
kinds of
still
different.
are you still connected with any of them?
I see Jack almost weekly.
Do you still surf with him?
He doesn't surf, and I don't surf because I had a back surgery like 10 years ago, so I haven't been surfing due to that. But I see Jack around the scene, and yeah, we get together a lot. And
Do you still go to the beach a lot and jump in the water?
I haven't been doing that, and I need to. There's a big part of me missing from not doing that. I've
Yeah,
just
I
been so
bet.
structured. Yeah, I've just been so structured lately with all these things I'm doing in
Right.
my life and with music, and so, but there is a big part of me missing because of that. I need to get back
Sure.
there.
Well, let's talk about this music. Mercury asked you earlier if you used to hang out with Sublime. What was the scene like, and how did you break into the punk scene? And now you're managing bands, so tell us about how that all
Yeah,
started.
how'd you go from breaking your, you know, different parts of your body to managing? Like we skipped a whole lot of stuff right here.
Yeah, well, hey, let's go back to the high school thing with the punk. And so what we did on the weekends is we searched for parties, right? We searched for parties. I was connected from surfing. I got a surfing team going at St. John Bosco, and we competed against all the local Long Beach schools and some of these Orange County schools.
Wow, so it's
And
sanctioned.
yeah, it's totally sanctioned. And so from surfing and all these little competitions we had, I met all those people. So we're looking for parties to go drink at on the weekends, right? And so I get connected at Pauley, at Wilson over here in Long Beach, and go to this party and hearing this jam band, kind of a surf jam with punk and ska. Didn't have too many lyrics, so I find out it's Sublime. Right?
Nice.
Okay, okay, cool. It was cool. And raging parties. That's like 1988, and we're just getting connected with all these little local bands playing. And fast forward a couple years, a friend of mine goes to Long Beach State. He's dorming over there. Go to the Nugget on Long Beach State, little bar there. Sublime's playing now. That and I just kept connected. Graduated high school, got my own apartment. My next door neighbor's friends with the guys. So that's how I got connected with Sublime. My next door neighbor in my apartment in 1990, and I used to see Sublime all the time. There was a sandwich shop on Anaheim Street, real close to Exemino, called Eat at Joe's. Joe didn't sell any alcohol. He just had sandwiches and food and like Cokes and stuff like that. He allowed Sublime to come in there, and we'd have, after he closed, and have after hour parties, and he allowed us to bring kegs in there, eat at Casa Sanchez, all that. Then 92, I went and moved and got into a house in Lakewood, and I got out away from Sublime, and then they blew up from there. But it was cool to see them go from backyard parties into playing all these local venues and bigger venues, and
Right.
they transcended it into what they did.
Yeah. It's a legacy they left for sure. Well, that's pretty amazing that you were a part of that scene with Sublime at those backyard parties. What about the other bands? I mean, and like you guys had Fender's Ballroom. Did you ever
Fenders.
go? You know, what were the punk shows like at Fender's?
I didn't go to those. I was too young. I was too young when that was going on, and actually I was a little scared to go because there was gnarly stuff going on, and I heard all about that, you know. And then we had the hillside over here, on Signal Hill. I mean, they were like mafia run clubs, and
Oh, Fender's?
not Fenders, the hillside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And
what was some of the venues that the punk rockers used to play in Long Beach and that you guys used to go to for all the shows?
as far as back then, I was backyard parties. I was the local bars around here. I wasn't going to the Fenders and the bigger venues like that. When I was going to bigger venues, I was seeing metal. I was going to the Long Beach Arena, and
Right.
I was into that. You were talking about Doc and Aerosmith. I was fully in metal too. So
That-
all
You can't
all these-
deny Long Beach Arena and all the amazing shows that went on there.
yeah,
So
my first show was there at Long Beach Arena that I paid a ticket for.
what was that?
That was Doc and Aerosmith.
Rad. My first show was Judas Priest Point of Entry at Long Beach Arena. So
Are you
my
talking
first
about
paid,
the one with all the sea creatures painted on it?
the Whales?
The Whales.
Yes.
It's so funny. All of us had our very first concert there. I saw Panic at the Disco there. That was my first.
Yes.
Was that packed? Panic at the Disco was awesome.
Oh, it was packed. Yeah, I was like in middle school. I think I was like in 6th grade or something, and my older sister took me with her, and she snuck in a camera because you weren't allowed to take cameras in. And back then we still had like those Canon point and shoot ones that came back. They're like retro now, so they're hip again. And like she would wear her hair up and have like a bandana with her hair up and like just have her bangs. So she hid the camera between the bandana and her hair back here. So when they like checked us, they missed that because yeah.
That's pretty cool because I snuck my 35 millimeter camera into the Iron Maiden Number of the Beast tour and snapped a gang of photos, and the rest is history. I got them saved there. We got backstage. That's a whole different story. But yeah, sneaking your camera into Long Beach Arena, I guess a lot of people did. But so now you manage bands.
Yeah, I'm working with a band named Heavenly Trip to Hell right now since level LB, we had to stop because of Johnny.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. While I was working with Level, I've known a couple guys in Heavenly Trip to Hell for so many years, and I was working to get to them to do shows with them with Level, and I don't know, things worked out, and I'm with them. I'm with the family now. It's a huge enterprise. They have
Nice.
a lot of things going on. Yeah, they have Road Dogs TV. They have Animas Records. They have Belmont Heights Tattoo and Boutique.
What's Road Dogs TV?
Road Dogs TV. They're on location. They come out on location and film everything that we do and things functions we do. Tattoo shop, shows, photo shoots.
So Road Dogs TV is not Heavenly Trip to Hell. It's an organization that follows you.
But it's all connected. It's like one huge family with all these separate entities.
Wow.
That work with Heavenly Trip to Hell, but they also do their own things aside.
Okay.
So yeah, we have Lost Anarchy magazine from
I like
Hollywood.
how you were saying it right now. Like the voice that came out, like your voice sounded very Hank Hill for a minute.
It sounded Hank Hill.
Like something like that. Yeah, it sounded like out of like King of the Hill, like talking about heavenly trip to hell. Like it just
Heavenly
sounded
Trip to
very like
Hell.
A little bit of
yeah,
a
like it sounded
drawl.
very like voice actory, like King of the Hill
Well,
indoors.
what's Heavenly Trip to Hell like?
Oh, it's a very family, humanity orientated band. A lot of the lyrics are a message of humanity, and you know, everybody that's in that band has all been through hell, right? But we've made it out.
Nice.
A lot of the message is I'll just be straight up, is don't mess with the drugs, don't mess with the hard drugs, you
Right.
know,
So
because
how did
that's
they
a
come
trap.
up with the name Heavenly Trip to Hell? Because it's not a very pleasant trip, or even the things everyone has gone through, right? So
Well, I mean, I don't know, from my own experiences, and I can relate to the name of the band, you know, I've taken Heavenly Trip to Hell. I've
Yeah, we all
taken
have.
a heavenly trip to hell out of my mind and landed in hell, right?
Sounds like the 90s to me,
Yeah. So
for
where
me.
they were born and raised on the streets, and they've, you know, they had a hard time growing up in poverty and all of that, and being against the eight ball. And you know, I'm sure all of us have stories of that, of some implication, you know, some
Right,
smaller, some larger,
right.
you know. And with all these entities that work with us, last night I'll say we do a lot of community work. We do a lot of community service for Long Beach. Last night we were at the Daisy Lane Parade down on Daisy Avenue, and that runs from Willow Street to a couple blocks before PCH. And yeah, so this is their fifth year doing it, with my first year with them. Got a Road Dogs TV banner. We went there and passed out glow sticks. We passed out Santa hats. We passed out the new Nom issue of the Lost Anarchy magazine. Um, yeah, it was great. And we walked
That's
through the parade.
impressive.
Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
amazing. I want to meet these guys. I want to hear that. We're
Yeah.
going to listen to their music for sure. What are they doing right now with their music? Do they have any releases coming out?
They just had a new video and song come out called Millions of Flowers.
I like it.
Millions of Flowers. It's a great song. It's a great message. I had the privilege, you know, I'm their booking agent now, and I had the privilege of booking a show here at D Piazza's on November 8th. And we did them for the premiere video release. We had the video release party and show. And with them and four other Long Beach bands, we just created this amazing experience for everybody. And at D Piazzas, they have like seven TV screens, and we rolled the video. First time playing it, everybody watched the video. After it was over, they went on stage, played the song live, continued with their set. We had two bands go on before them. They were in the middle. Had two bands after them. Sold out the show. They had to stop letting people in at the second band at 9 o'clock. 9
Wow.
p.m. Yeah, it was an
Congratulations.
amazing. Yes, thank
Nice.
you. It was a huge success.
Yeah, man.
So,
I want to work with them now.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. No, that's very inspirational. You
You
know,
know,
doing
like
something for the community, doing something positive, having a positive message in your music is hard to come by these days. Or at
it's hard
least
to come
maybe in the
by.
punk and the rock and roll world. So
Not
to me,
just
it's
the
very
punk and
important
rock
to have
and
a
roll.
message.
A lot of music, you know, doesn't have a lot of deep meaning nowadays. They're
I'm
very
sorry, what'd you
ego-
say?
A lot of music doesn't have deep meaning these days. They're very ego focused.
Correct. Well,
Majority of it.
there needs to be more of that. And getting back to meaningful, I want to talk about Johnny Manning.
Johnny.
So you manage Level LB. We had Johnny Manning on the show, one of our first interviews. Sadly, he passed away from cancer. I do want to say that having Johnny in and sitting down with him for this interview that he did was an honor of a lifetime for for me, for the team. I think I could speak for all of us.
Yeah.
He left us with just a profound thoughts in our head. You know, it was an incredible interview that he gave us, what he went through, his life story, his family, his daughter. So I do want to say that our love goes out to Johnny Manning, and we do want to thank him from our hearts for giving us that story of his. And we are very proud, and I hope his family's okay. I hope everybody's doing okay. His daughter,
They're doing good.
It must have been an amazing and powerful experience for you, Dennis, and the team, the band, when he was diagnosed, everything that you went through, trying to, I guess you could say, dot the I's and cross the T's, and, you know, get as much done as you guys can as a band. The love was incredible, the outpouring. So I just want to say that, you know, it was a profound moment for us to have Johnny on board, and, you know, you were a part of that. So thank you for being a part, helping us to get him on. How was that for you, the experience with Johnny?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I have the chills in an amazing way. So thank you for everything you said there, Diego. Yeah, it was so amazing with Johnny. See, I was supposed to work with Johnny and some other bands that he had back in 2017. Story about Johnny, all these older surfers I was telling you about in high school, right? Johnny was from Lakewood, Long Beach area too, you know, and he used to be called Johnny Rotten back then. You know, Johnny Rotten. He's always in trouble. It was a guy that I didn't hang out with back then. He was trouble. I didn't want to be around it, but I seen him all the time. I seen him at the beach, surfing. We know this huge surf world people as well, right? And so then after he got, you know, later on in life, he got in trouble. I didn't see him for a long time. Well, coming back around to like 2015, 2016, I see him. He's back on the scene. One of those surfer friends, Steve Lovestein, hits me up. I was booking shows back then in 2017. Hey, work with Johnny, da 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 da. For some reason, I didn't, and it all came around the way it was supposed to. So we're back in the end of 22. Yeah, I think it was the end of 22. These couple new friends that I have are like really good friends with Johnny. So we all got together, and they were banging around, and for about a year and a half they broke up. This was before they were called Level LB, and Johnny went and did his own recordings. Then they got back together, and I seen Johnny at a chili cook-off, and, you know, I hadn't seen this guy in years. And at this point in my life, I wasn't doing any promoting, nothing in the music world, and he got me off my ass to get back into this. I was taking a long break. I was like, you know, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again. I just wasn't. And I seen him at this cook-off. He comes and gives me a big old hug and basically told me to get off my ass and come manage my band.
Nice.
So, yeah, I got
Lit
him
a
out of the
fire under
garage.
you.
Lit a fire right under my ass, but it was inspirational fire.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. And soon enough, boom, I got the Instagram going. Went to their practice. We got it together, and immediately got out of the garage and onto the stage at Stages, which used to be Malone's, onto a good show with Trip to the Morgue, friends of mine, and some other Contortion and some other bands, that hardcore death metal, thrash metal, whatever you want to call it. Our first show, Jack Grisham came from TSOL, which was an honor, complete honor. He just doesn't go to anybody's shows.
Right.
Yeah, we brought 60 people. We brought 60 people to that first show, and that was within a month and a half of me working with those guys, and then it just took off and soared from there. Everybody was calling. It was so easy. I didn't have to even put shows together because I'm the manager, and I didn't even have to call people to say, "Hey, can I get on that show?" Everybody was calling me. "Hey, we got a show. We got a show." Johnny's, "I'll take as many shows as you can get." And we knew that he was dealing with, he had a misdiagnosis of his cancer, and they said it was first like a lung cancer, a rare form of a lung cancer. That's what we all knew, and he was already doing treatments like when I met back up with him. And okay, so, and he seemed to be all right, for what it was. And when we got the main diagnosis. So it was just get Johnny as many shows, because that was his life. That was his dream, to get up there and be with a good band. Level, all the guys are good band. Now you got a good manager, promoter. Our chemistry was so heavy, so good. I've never experienced this with a group of guys like I did with Level LB. And I put the LB onto Level because I was talking to Johnny. I said, "Hey, we put in the search engine Level, a million things pop up on the web and all that, a million different things." I go, "Level LB, Long Beach. We're all from Long Beach. Our roots are all from Long Beach." And it was kind of a hard sell to Sean, the guitarist, but I'm like, "Hey, when we put in Level LB, we're the first ones that pop up. Get everybody to
Right.
put in Level LB. We're right at the top of the list. Here we are." So
What did he
that's
say
what took
about
off.
that?
Johnny groveled with it for a moment too, but I'm like, "Johnny, come on, you put this in my hands. Let's do this. I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. Just trust me." So we both had trust within each other, and he was a groveler. Like, he chewed my ass. He chewed my ass, but it was all in good. He had his experiences and the reasons why he'd chew my ass too. So
Well, I used to work with him. We were working together when he went and was diagnosed and going through some of his stuff up in the catwalks. I remember and overhearing him. The way he was taking it was profound. He was so passionate about his music, his band at our age. It was amazing. And the inspiration that he gave me, even before he came in for the podcast, when he was coming up to me, he wanted to work with Bill Matoyer. He was honored. He was coming to me to let's do a recording. It was like, let's do this. Absolutely. He was so passionate that it inspired me. It's like to light a flame under me too. He actually was one of the ones who inspired me to start CandlePower up proper, the podcast, because instantly it's like, we got to get you on. The fact that he came on and told his story was just absolutely gutsy. You got to have it in you to come out and tell that kind of a story. And if you haven't heard the podcast with Johnny Manning on the CandlePower Hour, this is not a cheap cheap pitch for advertisement. This is a deep conversation, and y'all need to tune in and listen to what Johnny Manning had to say about life and what he was going through. It is profound. So take a moment for yourself and tune into the interview with Johnny Manning. I recommend that.
And we've had a past guest even mention, off camera to us that they really found that episode inspiring.
I've had more than many tell me that interview was inspirational and heavy and deep. It was powerful. So yeah, it was an honor having Johnny Manning on. Hopefully we can continue his legacy through CandlePower. It would be nice. It would be nice to do a project for him. So let's definitely keep in touch on that. And so now, getting back to you, Dennis, what are you guys doing now with Heavenly Trip to Hell? And then we're going to get into another chat about your charity work.
Yeah,
Okay.
did you mention that it's the same people that were in the band with Johnny moving on to this project? Or are there a few other people now? What is it?
There's well, our bass with the level band, AJ the drummer and Sean the guitarist and myself, we're all very good friends. We see each other. Um, I recently back at the end of spring, I finally went out and bought an electric bass. So I've been jamming with those guys over in Sean's
Nice.
garage. Yeah, the way I never had an electric bass before. I play bass and guitar, and I'm more or less learning the bass. But yeah, I'm jamming with those guys, and our first jam went really well. It's a trip too, being in the garage. That's where we practice with Johnny
Mm.
and the bass cabbie that I play out of, and the head and all that. Johnny's microphone stands right there, so it's like he's always with us.
Well, you
He's
Wow.
mentioned
always with
you
us.
felt you mentioned you felt chills when we were talking about him, so I'm
Yeah,
sure he's with you right
I,
now.
I
It would be the
yeah.
second interview we're having here on CandlePower where we have a previous guest be in the room with us when they've
Yeah,
passed.
he's here with us right now,
Absolutely. Do you keep in
and
touch with Johnny's family?
yeah, I frequently throw out some texts, or Nancy will throw text out to me, and Nancy has started that Autism Foundation for mothers that she was working on well before Johnny passed. Johnny
Tell us about
supported her
that.
in that. Um, I'm not too familiar with it, but I know it's a foundation that she has started, and she's grouped up with a whole bunch of strong women, and these women, it's a support group where the women can get away from, not get away, but get away for
Gather.
a retreat or a gathering and share their experiences and have support within each other because they all have autistic children, whether it be nonverbal, like Elise, Johnny's daughter, or the various forms on the spectrum. And yeah, she does a lot of amazing things, and they do things as a group as well with the children. I
What's the
know
name of the organization?
I don't know the organization's name. I can get it though. I will
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
definitely
be
get
great.
it.
we'd
Yeah.
like to know
Yeah.
more about that. I think we're going to have to
Uh,
reach out to Nancy.
yeah, I know on Instagram, Johnny Manning, uh the Johnny Manning Instagram, she has renamed OC Nancy Manning. So you can look at that. It's the same one, it's just OC Nancy Manning. And there's interviews on there that she just recently did. And that organization name is on there. So that would be a quick way to get to it, and you can connect with
Okay.
her that way as well on the
Thank
chat.
you.
She
Okay.
always responds. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
We will reach out.
okay,
And
awesome.
and speaking of charity, you have a very honorable career right now that you're working with the Salvation Army.
I am.
Tell us
I
about
am.
that.
Well, yeah, I've been okay. So the way it started was 3 seasons ago in 22. Um, I needed a job. Actually, 4 seasons ago in 21, I needed a job. Um, okay, I'll just be real quick on this. In 2019, I became homeless. I became homeless. I lost everything, due to addiction. Um, had nowhere to go, burned all my bridges. I asked for help. Once I became homeless, I asked for help. I was not going to go be on the streets. I asked for help. A friend of mine brought me to the Salvation Army ARC, Adult Rehabilitation Center in Long Beach. I was provided a home. You have to work for your stay. Got clean. Um, a couple years go by. Trying to get work. It was very difficult. I was trying to get work through COVID time. I just I broke my leg working a very dangerous job, under the table job, racking, taking down metal racking, broke my leg, recovering from that. Did a Zoom call for an interview for the Christmas warehouse coordinator position, Salvation Army in the city of Bell for the Christmas season. knew I wasn't going to get the position, but I put my face out there and interviewed with the captain, the business captain of the whole division, and the social service director. Next year in 22, I went in person for the job and I got the job. So it helped me the year prior. I wanted to work, see, deep in my heart along this journey, I wanted a job now to help people, a career to help people, all that corporate stuff, working for all that big machine stuff. I'm like over it. I've done
Right.
my time and all that. They helped me save my life. So it's like, it's all part about giving back. And now I did 22 season. The numbers went up huge. It was the Marines, because this is the Toys for Tots drive, is a Marine toy drive. We just happened to partner with it. We host it. We host the event in our warehouse. The numbers with me being there that first year went up huge for their 75th anniversary. 23, I came back, got right in, and the numbers went up even more as far as children that we serviced, and the amount of toys that went out to the children and families went up even higher. And 3 weeks before that was about to end, the business secretary captain called me from Wisconsin on his Christmas vacation and said, "Hey, I got a project. You want to stay for extra 5 weeks?" I'm like, "Of course." So I started working in one of the other warehouses after I closed up the Christmas project. And coming down to the end of the 5 weeks, he's all, "You want to stay longer?" I'm like, obviously, yes, please. So I became permanent. So I've been working permanent full time there for just a little bit over a year.
That's incredible.
So yeah, so
That's
I help.
incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
I get out food to the public, or I get out food. I help with emergency disaster services. That's where my office is. I share an office with emergency disaster services, and
Do you help out with like the local fires and things like that?
correct, fires, floods, we send out supplies to all that, and vehicles, and everything that's involved with that. It's so
Did you
cool.
have to do any sort of training so you can help service the disasters or anything like that, or does it sort of come natural?
It comes natural for me. They do have that. I'm not technically an emergency disaster services under their category.
Right.
And I would have to take those classes, and those are provided. But I'm learning so much working with the couple people that I share the office with, and help load supplies. I'm learning along the way. So it's absolutely incredible, because what I do there is I manage seven of the 9 warehouses that are on site, and you'll see, Diego, when you come out on Tuesday, because you're coming to help volunteer.
I have volunteered to be an elf. I'm going to be
You're
there.
going to be a
this
Christmas
week.
elf. Yes.
Wait,
yeah.
what do you mean you're going to be an elf? What's going on?
Tell
He's
them.
coming out. Yeah. So yeah, I'm running
I
the 3rd year
volunteered
in
to
a
be a
row.
Christmas elf for 2 days. I'm going to
Gonna
sort
come help
toys.
Gonna sort toys and bag toys up for children.
So is this
For-
like the part in Elf? You're gonna be like Buddy the Elf when he's downstairs with all the mail sorting people. You're gonna be doing that with the Toys for Tots.
Absolutely. Toys
I'm
for
hoping
Tots
that
elf.
Santa's going to let me drive his forklift.
I got a couple.
Nice. No, I'm actually looking forward to it. So it just might open up some doors for me too, because
Yes.
it's what I want to do. You mentioned not working for the man. I've been very blessed in my life and my career. I don't really consider myself working for the man, but I do want to broaden my horizons in the charity world, and do things for my personal inner being.
Well,
So
another
I think,
thing you can do, Diego, also, I've done this in the past. I haven't looked into recently, but you live close to the Pasadena Rose Bowl, and every year before the Rose Parade, they need volunteers to help, get everything ready, or even just like sort flowers and things like that for the brides.
Yeah, those are fun. I'm down for that. I think it's going to be fun with the toys with
I'm just
the
trying you to
Salvation
broaden your
Army this week.
horizons. Broaden your
It-
horizons for your volunteer
it-
work. You have so many available things to access.
Speaking of Rose Parade, hey, speaking of Rose Parade, though, since you brought it up, Mercury, one of the warehouses that I manage, I have the Salvation Army Rose Parade, all their gear, their uniforms, their drums, their horns, all of that. Yeah, it's
It's all
pretty amazing.
connected.
It's all connected. That's what like Salvation Army is so everywhere. It's so everywhere. I was telling
Well, the
Diego,
fact
I
that
didn't even-
you were able to find sobriety, you were able to clean up, you got off of the streets, they took care of you. Now you're working with them. I did some research a little bit on the Salvation Army, and I find the organization to be highly respectable. It is a Christian charitable church. It's an official church. But with that said, they accept everybody. There's no discrimination. It's as long as you obey their mission statement and respect their ways, they accept everybody. And that's so amazing. And I really do have a lot of respect for the Salvation Army and the bell ringers and everything they do. And I think that what you went through with them is a great example of how they operate and how they're able to get people off the streets in a legitimate way and provide housing and food and resources. I think that's great. It's legitimate.
It's all there.
And congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your services helping. And fun little fact, I mean, I'm sure you probably know about this, but you know how there's like a Santa association, and the guys who volunteer to be Santas, like professional Santas, like have like a membership, and they carry little cards and they look like Santa all the time, right?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Well, apparently there's also a Krampus organization, and they're smaller, but they all have their own like official gear. So there's a Krampus organization as well.
Krampus is becoming popular.
In the States, it's growing a lot more. Yeah.
Right.
It's always been popular in Europe.
So, Dennis, what are your plans for the holidays and what are your plans for the new year?
Plans for the holiday, for the Christmas holiday, I'm going to go with Frankie. He's one of the guitar players in the band Heavenly Trip to Hell. Frankie, I've known 10 years. The first time I met him at a show back in 2015, I believe it was, I knew that this guy was going to be a friend for life, and he's turned out to be just that along the way. So I'm going to go with him and his wife and his nephews, and we're going to go to the movies.
Nice.
We're going to go hang out with them, get some food, and just do that.
You go watch Nosferatu?
We're going to see that new vampire movie that's coming out.
Yeah, that's it. Nosferatu.
Yeah, I was asking him, because Frankie asked me last night if I wanted to go. I said, absolutely. And so, yeah, I don't know anything about the movie or any of that. And it's that name that you just said, but I'm going. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
Christmas Day.
And then New Year's Eve, I will be at the Long Beach Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center. I work with them constantly. I will be there with the guys that evening for the church service and dinner, and then immediately after dinner there's a talent show, so all the guys in the program there get to sign up to do some kind of skit or whatever on stage. So I'm gonna go be with them on New Year's Eve.
That's amazing.
Pretty mellow.
Sounds fun.
Pretty mellow.
Yeah. No, that's you're an amazing person, Dennis, and I just want to say that what you've been through, it's no wonder why you were able to connect with Johnny Manning so much. You know, you guys are birds of a feather flock together, right?
Absolutely. And
well, you're great examples of turning your lives around.
Yeah, yes. Both of you.
Thank
Absolutely.
God. Thank God.
Because from the sounds of it, you were like, I stay away from that guy when you first met.
Well, that's back when I was like 18, 20. You know, things changed over the years, and
Yeah.
you
So you
know,
weren't
Change
one
is
of
good.
the kids
Change is
running
good.
around with Johnny when he was a little kid causing all that havoc.
I wasn't back then. No,
You
I
weren't
just did it.
Dennis the Menace.
I did it. I did it later in life. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Dennis, what is your recommendation for kids, aspiring musicians, aspiring kids who are, trying to make it in life, trying to get off the streets, trying to get through their own struggle? What do you got to say for them?
And management and everything in between.
Oh wow. For kids?
What's your advice?
Oh wow. Hang
For
out with
kids, grown-ups, anybody.
anybody. Hang out with positivity. Hang out with people who are actually doing something, action, that are doing something good.
Yeah.
You know, that's, and obviously, and I'll say it, stay away from drugs. Stay away from drugs. That that right there takes more people out today than anything else.
Yeah.
People can have problems, people can be messed up with the negativity and all that, but it's way easier to get away from all of that if you're not on drugs. If you're on drugs, it's a trap. You know, it's a
Haram.
trap.
Absolutely. We've all been through that ringer. Getting out of it is tougher for some folks, but the struggle is real. And I
Struggle
will
is real.
definitely say that is true.
The only magic 8-ball I mess with is the one you shake that says "try again."
Okay, good. But yeah,
Hey, Dennis, it's been awesome having you on this show. Thank you
Oh, it
for
was
coming
very
on for this
enjoyable.
quick chat. We look forward
Absolutely.
to doing some business in the future. I look forward to this little elf toy drive that we're going to do
Yeah.
this week. Thank
It's
you
gonna
for
be
coming
great.
on,
Thank
and
you
let's
so
stay in
much.
touch.
We will stay in touch, and thank you, Mercury. It was really nice to meet you.
You too, Dennis. Take care.
All right,
Hey,
you too.
we're signing off on the CandlePower Hour. Thank you for being with us, Dennis Kopczak, and we will see you around. Sit, Lulu, sit.
Powered by
Electricast.